Master Grade New Gundam version KA.
Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, GundamReviews.net. And you've already seen the unbox and the weapons, including such things as the bazooka, the beam rifle, the shield, and that great-looking TIE Defender back there. But now it's time to take a look at the actual parts for this Master Grade New Gundam version KA. Bottom to top now with the mostly complete feet, and unlike most Gundam feet where you're going to look at the bottom and you're not going to see anything too fancy, this is what you're going to get right out of the box with the addition though that I just put some red there, splotched it into the middle with a red Gundam marker. No undercoat or anything, it's just going to add an extra little bit of color, but more importantly, look how good Bandai is doing at including a large number of colors in a small area there, with the gray, yellow, gray there in a very short succession, just fantastic. And you're going to have the ability to drop the brakes down there, as you can see that one back there. This one you can also rotate here, and these ones, I've had them drop down occasionally when you don't want them to. But in this case, you can see that when you drop them down, you're going to have 4 different spikes all digging in to the nice greens at the golf course. Over here on the top, you can see that you get the first piece of the nice clear green parts, and I got to say that this is a big step up on the unicorn, and especially the Banshee with the orange, where it really does get lost in the blue here. And that's going to be helped by the simple reason that you're going to be having the silver seals under there. And then as I say it, as I look in there, it looks like I didn't put on this silver seal all that well. When you're putting it all together, sometimes the seals just seem a little bit too small for the pieces. So you're going to want to line them up so that they've got maximum exposability, not from the inside, because when you're looking at it to put it in, but instead from how it's going to be seen out here. Nonetheless, it's still a big step up than just having clear green on dark gray. One more white piece is supposed to go on there, and then what'll happen is that you'll just be sliding this up and down to reveal the green underneath. But look at the size of this ankle. This right here is bigger than a lot of Master Grade's hips. It's actually going to be made out of about 4 pieces. You've got a big polycap in there with a polycap-like sheath on top. Drop that on, then put on the 2 large pieces there, and you're going to get a decent range of mobility there. And look at how much you're able to move this. Combine that with the fact that you've got a toe bend here and a transformation point. Looking great. And while I used to think the Master Grade 2.0 was probably going to be the best frame, yes, then you put together something new like the Master Grade New version KA here, and it just is mind-blowing. Partially just due to its construction and the engineering and the overall bulk and size that you're going to be getting from a 22-meter Gundam here. But of course, the other big bonus is just going to be that inner frame there, and I'm talking specifically here about the clear green ones with those silver seals underneath, which are going to add a whole bunch of time to your build if you're going to go ahead and put them in, because some of these, they're only going to take 1 silver seal, but other ones that actually have bend points, not so much here, you're actually going to be putting on 3 different parts. If you can imagine the pieces of you're going to be putting in a seal, seal, and seal, so that's going to take a lot of time. But when you just look at the details that are included right out of the box, silver seals and all the green pieces as you've got them here, 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 and up on the top, not to mention those yellow parts which would have been omitted in the past, or seals at worst. Instead, they're very small, and the fact that they're actually not going to be filled in is going to allow even more of the gray inner frame to show through. Now up at the top, you're going to have a large, you already saw the large ankle, you're going to have even larger hips there. This is involved in the transformation. I wouldn't say it's as smooth as the unicorns, but it's definitely not as bad. I was really impressed with the way the unicorn dealt with the upper body. But take a look at the knees here. You've got some fantastic looking piping there. Just some simple little tick marks there if you want to do lining. And as you go for the bend there, you can see that actually I've had this part detach itself a couple times, so you'll want to reattach that. And when you do that, you're going to be able to bend this up here, which is going to expose some pretty cool looking pistons from the angle you look at it at. The only thing you don't want to do is if you do go all the way, it is very easy for it to pop out. So you're going to want to make sure that you're putting it back in properly when you slide it down. You're not going to get any of a bend down there, but then again, the fact that you're getting this much and some cool mechanics with it, although you just saw the pop out right there, something you've got to be aware of, but still better to have it and work 90% effectively than not to have it at all. But for the thrusters on the back, look at this fantastic little detail. On the bottom there, I've got some more yellow with just some red thrown in, but it's yellow inside gray with red, so you're getting lots of colors in short succession. $2 red marker can help you do that too, if you want to be lazy like me. But look at this, the way you get multiple thrusters there with the hidden one that's going to pop out here. And then for this one, you're also going to have the ability here to separate this part, which was actually a selling part that they were talking about in the manual. So you can just see how much movement and how much play options there are there. And then this is going to be a very important piece here for the actual transformation. Which, if you want to take a look at it, what you're able to do is that you pop up this white piece back here, and you can see that it's going to have two slide positions. You take the legs here, and they're not really going to move all that much until you put everything on. But when you do that, you can lock it in either to a high or a low position. And then more importantly, for this part down here, what you have to do is you have to pop up this and pop this part out. And when you do that, did you see that? The way everything just pops out there? Some really cool gimmicks, and pop that up. And again, those are going to go. So you can slide that back in if you've got this out of the way. You're going to have to reseal those parts on your own. But everything is looking incredible, and it's not even armored up. But now it is, and you're going to have all sorts of treats to see on there. First of all, you can see what's going to happen when you just add on that one large white piece there. And for the transformation, you're just going to be able to very easily slide that out. Haven't had any issues with it sliding down on its own. And as for how much green you can see exposed there, you can see it on the top and the sides. Looking good so far. As you can see here, it's going to look a little bit plain on the inside there, but you're going to take an extra gray piece and put that around here when you attach it in. And it's going to add a real lot of consistency here, no matter which side you're looking at it from. But here it is all together. Let's start up at the top where you're going to be getting this nice hip. This is going to move all around over here. You can see the similar like construction to what we saw with the ankles, where you've got the polycap on the inside of the solid piece there. That's going to move up and down. But the real star of this has to be the multiple colors that you're looking at here. So much of the gray is showing through on the inner frame. All of this is a plus, definitely all design. It doesn't look like an afterthought in any way, shape, or form. The yellow parts there are going to be showing through against the blue and the white and the off-white, because remember that you've got the two shades there. The off-white being from the D-plate, that's got a very nice mix to go through up there. And if you look at it carefully, you're also going to see different kinds of blue down there, as well as on the feet, and that's from the stickers. You're going to have these very thin paper-like stickers that are going to fit on. Somewhat problematic, though, is they're going to be sitting on rounded pieces, and you can see that you can get some little bubbles on here. The other thing about them is that if you put them on, they're the kind of thing where there's going to be enough attraction there that even if you're bringing them with your tweezers, they're just going to sort of jump onto the plastic. And if they do, these are very easy to rip, so you're going to want to be very, very careful with them. But overall, the amount of colors in such a small space here, definitely looking good so far. So what do we get for the mobility? Well, you're able to take this knee, and you can see the way that it bends there, and you'll notice that there's a piston on the inside. And if you go like this, you're going to get not quite 180, but definitely not bad. The only thing you've got to be careful of is that sometimes this piston has popped off on me up there, and so this whole thing can just sort of detach, and it just feels a little bit awkward sometimes when you're putting back in, so a little bit of care required. But then again, it's going to look good, and it's going to move very well. And if you've got a whole bunch of exposed inner leg, it's so much better to have this than just an ugly cut mark from an ugly gray slab, which we've seen in so many Gundams prior to this. Down below, you're also going to have the big plus here of thrusters in the back that are all supposed to be special here. First of all, you're not just going to have one back here, but you're going to have two, as you've got this one that's going to pop up, and here's the short succession again, where you've got the gray with the yellow on the inside, man, and that's the kind of thing that I wish they've done for years. And if you want to add a little bit of red on the inside, you can go ahead and do that. And you're also going to have the second thruster down here, and if you can make it out, you can actually see that it is going to have another moving part up here, as you saw in the earlier piece, with this gray part allowing it to maneuver around. But overall, very, very interesting, and it gets even more interesting when you go for the transformation mode. For the ankles itself, once it's all attached on here, you can see that it's going to move very, very well. Front to back, side to side, no issues with the hips, knees in terms of that, which means it's time to move on to the transformation, where things start a little bit awkwardly because you're going to need a ziplock of some sort, because if you want to operate it, you have to pop off these two pieces. I mean, you don't really have to, although you're not going to get a full transformation if you don't. And also back here, the next step is to pop up this thruster and this one. And then what you want to do is you want to actually pop off this white piece down here, which can be pretty easy to do. It's not attached on all that well, and that's not a bad thing, but that's going to release that gray part on the inside here, and that's going to allow the whole full transformation to kick in. It's just going to look a little bit awkward, but then again, there's going to be so much green on display that it's going to look great. So how do you do that? Well, a modeler's knife or your fingernails if you have any. And then when you do that, you're going to have a very nice split mechanism there. As you can see that you're going to get a Y on its side there, which means that you're going to have some of the green exposed there from the front, but not very much up at the top, but you'll see a little bit there at the bottom, but more importantly from the sides. And the lock mechanism is going to go in there very nicely. For the lower part, you've already seen that you're going to pop these parts open. Then you've got to deal with this gray part here, just get it out of the way. And when you do that then, you can see the whole split come across there. Everything's going to open up, then you can lock this down and back into place. Close up the thrusters if you want, although then again, if Amuro's going nuts, you'd think that you'd want them all exposed. And then you're going to be getting this plus the knee part here, that you're going to be getting a little bit of green underneath there on the side. So you've got a side Y, you've got this part down here on the side, and you've also got these large parts here that would be even better if you put on the RA big sticker over on the one leg there, and then combine the fact that you can slide up this part for the foot, and this is definitely looking hulked out, definitely looking unicornish, and for me, I think that's a great looking thing. Overall, you can guess that the legs are definitely going to be there to impress, from everything from the build, the construction, the yellow parts, the two tones of white and the blue there to a lesser extent thanks to the seals. But the green, even though it's going to look fantastic on here, it's the kind of thing where you may almost just want to have one just to show off the inner frame because it's going to look fantastic there, and I still think it looks pretty good despite the fact you just don't want to lose these 6 pieces. But December Gundams are such a treat, so stick around everybody, lots more to talk about, and as always, please let me know what you think with a comment down below. Thanks for watching. See ya. I wonder if you've met my new sister, Eileen.